Good evening, friends, and this is Agnello Rajesh here. We are back to you again today at 4:15 in the evening. Have a very happy Sunday. I'm sure you're enjoying your Sunday, and we are here again to join you with some interesting discussions today evening. And the two chapters of the book that we are going to be discussing today, the 50 new life mantras. So the two chapters are going to be announced by Geeta Nagu right away. Geeta, to you.
Yeah, the two chapters which we are going to discuss is the e-commerce going forward from now and the tips of working from home effectively. These are two interesting, very relevant chapters of today, which we will be discussing today.
Fantastic. So life is completely changed since the lockdown almost 40 days back, and e-commerce and online and digital and social media has become our part of our life. In fact, we are leading two lives. One is the actual conventional life with people around us, and the other one is again with the people, but online with the help of technology and social media, digital media, and e-commerce. So a lot of dramatic changes have happened, and these sessions are going to throw insights and lights on how we can ideate better, how we can decide better, and it is a collective movement of coming together. We look forward to your questions as you see us live on the session. And today we have got a new format. We have got some very interesting guests on board who are going to ask us questions related to the topic. My first question, I will request Anandita Gupta to ask the first question. She runs a very successful PR agency by the name of Scenic Communication, and how e-commerce is going to be impacting her business, we would like to understand through her question, and then we all three, me, Nagu Chidambaram, and Geeta Nagu, will try and address to that question. So Anandita, to you, can we have your question, please?
Yeah, sure. So I have written down one question. So that is, before COVID, also we all have been dependent on e-commerce for our daily needs. Though while modern physical retail came to be appreciated for its exponential values, but post-COVID, with the innovations in fintech and increasing dependency on retail, an increasing number of business will be jumping in the already thriving e-commerce bandwagon. Under such circumstances, a company like Scenic Communications, companies like us who are into communications business, what do you think we are going to be benefited from this e-commerce boom to engage our clients?
So according to me, e-commerce is a combination of your e-commerce based activities, which are program driven, software driven. At the same time, it is also a combination of social media and everything that you go digital. Even when you Google today, that's also a part of e-commerce, considered to be a part of e-commerce. But e-commerce specifically is a platform wherein you can do a proper commercial transaction with the help of payment gateways, choosing the product that you want, choosing the services that you need. But the life has become online. This will expand your business for Scenic Communication, Anandita, because now you can cater to a customer sitting in one place and having customers from all across the world. The focus of your team will now move a lot more to digital. Probably in the past, for example, PR agencies were having a 60%, 70% ratio being covered in newspapers and magazines, which was an offline option. But now, because of digital, the tilting will happen more towards the online platform. So I feel you will have a great scope there, and there is going to be so much of e-commerce activity that people and customers and companies will want to be looked differently on the online space also, for which they will need PR agencies like your expertise. Geeta, your take on that?
Yes, absolutely right, Rajesh. Moving forward, Anandita is going to be all about virtual reality, augmented reality. It's all about artificial intelligence, and it's going to be virtual conferences, virtual exhibitions. Even a brick and mortar company, for their presentation for events, will have to come virtual only. Even a B2C, B2B, everything is going to become a virtual reality, virtual conferences, virtual exhibitions. So you have a huge space there. You just have to transform into that, and all our life, it would have been post COVID, but everything has changed. Lifestyle, the way we look at things, everything has changed now. So moving forward, it's a very huge opportunity for you, because everything should be done right from pin to a home is bought and sold in virtual reality today. So you have to play that space very well.
In fact, PR agencies also will become digital agencies and starting special IP properties which can support their customers and clients, because they can do it as a third party for their clients for specialty sectors like real estate or logistics or particular manufacturing sectors or pharma companies or whatever. So even PR agencies like Scenic Communications will become very much technology oriented and making sure that the reach of their client goes to every corner of the world and does not get restricted only to few newspapers who might cover it locally, nationally, or a few countries of the world. Nagu, e-commerce is interesting and exciting. How do you look at it from Anandita's perspective?
No, absolutely. I think today we have the brick and mortar and we have the e-commerce. Now, earlier it was brick and mortar, which was the only thing, and then you also had e-commerce. Today it looks like e-commerce is on top and brick and mortar is also in the game. So you'll have to make your presence felt. You'll have to get experts onto the board. You need to see what all is going to be active, how to reach more number of people, get to the absolute optimum point of excelling on e-commerce, because in some time that's going to be the only platform, and the brick and mortar is going to be also run kind of a situation. So everybody is moving towards that. The earlier we move, the quicker we protect ourselves and the better we expand ourselves into a newer market, which earlier obviously didn't exist for those who don't even think about it. Today it's a necessity. What was an option earlier has become a necessity today. So it will give you great wonders, Anandita, once you step into it.
Fantastic. So Sandeep Warke has a question there. And Anandita, that was a very interesting question. Thank you so much. Sandeep Warke is asking, we have more than 500 inquiries for franchises from Maharashtra. Now lockdown is extending day by day. I fear that some of those inquiries may get negative. How to retain those inquiries? Sandeep, every business has got loads of inquiries. The customers are also aware that the lockdown situation is going to be unlocked in phases purely in the interest of the lives of the people. The government is playing a fantastic role. Whatever they are doing is in the interest of all the population being alive. So that is definitely a priority. All the consumers are also human beings like you and me, and definitely they will wait for the unlocking to happen in phases, and surely nothing is going to go away from you. You need to make one thing sure: digitally, with the help of online, with the help of e-commerce website that you have or might be building, you need to be on the top of the mind of your customers. Remember one thing: the competition is going to go on increasing, because now the geographical distance is not there anymore. So your customers will be wooed by many other vendors also. So you need to be in constant touch with them, constant touch with your customers. My next guest on the panel today is a gentleman, Mr. Rohit Rawal, the chairman of Business Opportunities Club, which is a platform which is for tuning up and fine-tuning and taking the mindsets of entrepreneurs to the next level. So Rohit, to you, what's your question for the evening?
So Rajesh, thank you very much. Let me read out the question to be more specific. Because of pandemic, the country, or rather the entire world, is in state of complete lockdown for more than 40 days now, which has changed the dynamics of business and economy. The bright side to this is that a vast scope of opportunities have opened up in the e-commerce and digital sector. How will the premium platform like Business Opportunities Club, which focuses on shift of mindset to go to the next level, can support the entrepreneurs for growth in the face of adversity?
Fantastic. That's a lovely question, Rohit. Thank you so much. Business Opportunities Club is doing a brilliant job of mentoring entrepreneurs. Nagu Chidambaram is a part of a Nagartar Chamber of Commerce, which is basically a chamber for the Chettiars. It's a particular community which comes from one part of Tamil Nadu, primarily from Madurai. So I would like to ask Nagu to answer this question on how can the chamber, I will come back to BOC after that, but how can the chamber take advantage of this new situation of online connectivity?
No, so you'll be able to connect with a lot of people, and that's very, very important, because any chamber is now wanting to look at it on a progressive note. How to get more members, how to improve the quality of the members, how to improve the performance of the members, how to enable them, how to aid them. And this online presence is going to give you that reach which earlier you did not have. And it's also going to make it more prominent, more active, and the brand that you'll be building, the appeal that you'll be creating is going to be phenomenal, because this is the need of the hour. And this is how people are going to be able to reach you as well. And they will realize that you'll be able to do a lot of things. Like, for instance, the Nagartar Chamber has set up a lot of Zoom calls and a lot of webinars, which everybody has done. But this has been more specific to the target audience. And this made everybody feel probably we should be more visible, probably we should be more connected. And that really sets the tone up and the right platform.
Fantastic. Fantastic, Nagu. Thank you so much. Friends, I would like to explain one fantastic concept for platforms like Business Opportunities Club or Corporate Connections or the Nagartar Chamber. That concept is economics of emotions and ecosystem. We need to ideate on these three words: economics of emotions and ecosystem. What typically is an ecosystem? An ecosystem is a collection of people who have got collections of people on their social media platforms. Let me give you an example. Suppose if there is a person who has got 5,000 connects, and he in turn has those 5,000 connects in turn have on an average of say 1,000 connects each, 1,000 friends each on Facebook or any other social media. Collectively, friends, 5,000 people having 1,000 on an average as friends, you're talking about a mass population of 50 lakh people. Now that's an ecosystem. So if you have an access to that kind of an ecosystem, definitely you will be able to change the economics of not only your organization, but also the economics of all the people in that particular ecosystem. So we need to learn the new concepts of managing economics with managing the emotions of the people on an ecosystem. So Nagartar Chamber, Corporate Connections and Business Opportunities Club is a powerful ecosystem where collectively we come together, we ideate together, we share opportunities, and we grow because the trust is already there. Either you know the person directly or you know the person who knows the other person indirectly. So this is going to play a very critical role, and Business Opportunities Club will be playing a very crucial role in the growth phase of every entrepreneur that's there on this kind of platforms. Ravi Salunke, what is the future of newly started small e-commerce startups in the world of Amazon and Reliance-like players coming? Guide how to stand in this scenario. Geeta, you can take on that.
Yes, Ravi. This is all about the last mile connectivity. We don't have to worry about, however big the giants are coming in. The local market, it is going to be how much it is going to be global market. It is also going to be a lot of local market. So in the lot of localization is also going to happen, which we are going to see. In that localization is where the players, all kinds of players, there is going to be space. So how are you going to be if it's an e-commerce portal, which is a local player, it's about the last mile connectivity. It is about your end-to-end support and services. So if you are going to stand out in whichever business you are going to be in your last mile connectivity and your customer support services, nobody will be able to beat you. So you just have to keep excelling. You should not worry about who is your next player and what giant is coming. You have to only up your game and be the best and focus and become the best. In whatever you are, if you become the best, there is no competition to you.
So I would like to add to what Geeta said, which is very interestingly, she put it up on how you can take grip of your business and situation. There is no need to fear about a Flipkart or an Amazon or any other platform for that matter. The economy is going to move in a very different way. We need to educate our people, our friend circle, and our ecosystem, our friends on the social media and their friends on the social media. That is our ecosystem. We need to develop a culture of giving business to the people that we know. Forget about localization, forget about globalization. These are the times, during the times of crisis, when the world comes together, we need to give the business either to the person that we know or to the person who our person knows directly. If we try to do that, that is one number formula. The 2 number formula is try to be a customer of your customer. If you can become a customer to your customer will help you to expand your business. So these are some very smart strategies that we need to adapt in these current times, and these are all ideas which have come out and originated because of our interactions on platforms like Business Opportunities Club, started by the chairman, Mr. Rohit Rahul. I would now like to request Nitin Munot to take the next question. Nitin Munot is a very dynamic entrepreneur in multiple businesses of manufacturing. He manufactures noise barriers, very interesting products. He's also got into automated sanitizers, dispensers, and also the railway platform automatic doors that is also being installed by his company. Over to you, Nitin Munot. What would you like to ask us?
Thanks, Rajesh. Actually, e-commerce is definitely a way ahead. If we see the progress of e-commerce, they were $4.4 billion in 2010, and they became almost $14 billion in 2014. And why they could do this? Because the wide range, they are available 24/7. So what is happening? They are also utilizing the mobile app effectively. So when we have such a platform, the question is now, how that can be useful for us. So we are manufacturing product, whatever, like noise barrier, platform screen door, docking bay equipments. Now how I can use this platform for betterment and increasing of myself. Thanks.
Well, your colleague in manufacturing is my very dear friend Nago Chidambaram. So I'll post this question to Nago and then I'll add my comments to that for sure. Yes, Nago, please go ahead.
Oh, Nitin, it is a very interesting question, and all of us believe that since we are not into really B2C and we are more into B2B in many cases, we feel that online presence is not required. Even in the case of being B2C, if we are more like brick and mortar, we believe that the traditional method of marketing, sales, there is a buyer, there is probably a repeat buyer, and we have a particular channel of operation, we keep going through that. We really don't focus in this massive dynamite that we have, the potential of the online. It's very, very essential and important for every business worth the name and size to be a part of this. They need to definitely get into it. So there's no two ways about it. While you step into it, I would probably say there are 4 things that you need to focus on. First, determine your customer. Point number 1. Point number 2, select initial product to place online. You have multiple products, so you don't have to go and place all the products online. You can choose based on the customers on what are the products out of the multiple products you have to place online, and start observing your competition's place in that sphere of operation. So that becomes very critical. Just because you place your product or just because you're online, it doesn't sell. You need to watch what your competitor is offering, and you need to see what's your competitive edge, what's your offering, what is it that you have that edge and that bit over as to why somebody needs to come to you. Come up with altered policies to cover the e-commerce aspects. Study it in totality. And with a small range, you step in, put in a dedicated team, you start focusing on it, you'll start realizing the importance of it and the way it will be able to give you growth and benefit. You'll also be able to understand what are the mistakes you have made. No problem in making the mistakes, as far as you've caught those mistakes at the early stage and you've learned to fix those mistakes. In that case, you'll be able to expand it into a profound setup, into a larger platform of whatever you have. And the best part is, once you've put all your products online and started moving, you'll be able to say there's so much of strength. You look at newer products to go online. So that's where the real and absolute growth is. So you need to definitely step onto this, Nitin.
Fantastic, Nago. That was so nice. But I would also love to add for a few more details. Your activity, Nitin, can be classified into 2 sectors. One is the manufacturing of the product, and second is reaching out to the market. Reaching out to the market also needs to be 100% automated. When you automate the reaching out to the customers, like for example, when you talk about noise barriers, these are basically decisions taken by government agencies, by senior bureaucrats and IAS officers. You can reach out to them and educate them on your products through the help of technology. So you need to have fantastic video testimonials. You need to have your product in action on the ground on the flyover that you have installed. You need to give scientific reports online, verbally, through blogs, through videos, through testimonials on how this is helping the quality of life. I feel, suppose if you do this very effectively, you will get the right audience. Most critically important on e-commerce is how do you reach to the right audience. You can't speak Marathi to a Tamil audience. You can't speak Tamil to a Hindi audience. You can't. So once you identify in terms of language, in terms of region, in terms of area, in terms of expertise, if you can identify your audience, you just need to reach out to those decision makers who are the decision makers to place orders to you. As far as your hand sanitizers, automated hand sanitizers are concerned, they have to be sold on the e-commerce platform, and there will be too many people selling. Now, for example, you are partnered with Mahindra & Mahindra, so you have got a very strong brand with you. You need to leverage it by reaching as fast as possible digitally, which is easily possible, and try to tap into the audience and book your orders. So your manufacturing can be automated and linked to the e-commerce site that you have, so that it can show the progress of where you're moving. At the same time, revenue generation can happen through e-commerce and smart strategies of digital media and social media. So thank you, friends, all 3 of you all, for your brilliant participation. We move to the next topic, which is going to be tips on how to be operating. The next topic is tips for operating from home. And for that, we have got another set of 3 interesting panel members who are going to join us. I would like to welcome Chaitali Mehta, Sushant Raurane, and Neil Sawant, 3 entrepreneurs again, and they would be asking questions to us. And to begin with the question, I would request Chaitali Mehta to go ahead and ask her question. Chaitali, please. So Chaitali is in the logistics business, a very dynamic lady. She does business in the man's world. Logistics is generally not seen too many women. She is called as the helicopter lady of this country, and she can import and export anything legitimate after paying taxes. So that's Chaitali Mehta for you. Chaitali, with your question.
Thank you very much. That was a lovely introduction. I have written down my question. Work from home was an unimaginable and unthinkable idea for the logistics industry in India until COVID-19, and this is unfortunately a reality now. How can this industry and companies like ours work from home when we need to be boots on ground every single day, and when the paperwork cannot be electronic all the time? Thank you.
Fantastic. So Geeta, how would you like to address that?
Yes, Chaitali, this every industry is going through is even our industry. We are going through the same thing. It's just one fine day we woke up and we understood work from home, work from anywhere, but we have to work. How to bring results, how to bring productivity. It's a phase and it is here to stay. And let us master it. So we just have to go through this. And what is very important in all of this is you have to preserve the core and we have to stimulate the progress. Stimulating progress happens through changes. Changes is very dynamically, rapidly happening all the time. And COVID is another situation all about changes. In all of this, what is very, very important to ourselves and to our team, I believe all the time what is going to hold us and give us clarity in direction is how we are going to preserve the core. The core here is our best practices, our ethics, our honesty, our accountability, our responsibility, our targets, our deliverables, our customer satisfaction, our heritage, all what we have so far taken, previous to the COVID, we still have to hold it. That is our epicenter. With that, then we have to come into very dynamic ways of finding new ways to operate, new ways of survival, new processes, technology, systems, online, whatever is going to solve, work from home, efficiency. We have to bring all of this together and make it happen. We will find solutions everywhere. Initially, there will be glitches, how to do the paperwork, how to carry the files home. And so many of the places will not have 4G connectivity, and to work on a system or a laptop might not be possible. All challenges are going to come. We just can't easily say work from home and it's not going to be a cakewalk. We are going to go through these glitches, but the attitude of all of us is I can, you can, we can. That is what is making us go forward, and we will find the solutions also for work from home and work from wherever. And now I've started calling it from work from wherever, but we have to survive and we have to produce the results. And there are three important things for that. It's about character, it's about collapsing your comfort zone, and it is about continuous improvement. 3 C's which we have to inculcate in our team. Character is about your discipline. They all have to be disciplined wherever they are for the result. And collapse your comfort zone. That is where your growth is. Only outside your comfort zone. This is a very uncomfortable area. But with adversity comes opportunities. If we are going to embrace it faster, we are going to have lots of opportunities. So we have to equip our team to embrace all of this, as well as how we are going to. This game is all about continuous improvement. Is your team and us responsible for becoming a better version day by day? Better productivity day by day, and we will figure out everything. That's all about work from home.
Fantastic, Geeta. That was lovely. 3 C's. Let me add 4 D's to your 3 C's. Work from home is definitely going to be a new talent, and everything can be done from home as well. We have realized this in the last 40 days, Chaitali. Every business, we are into real estate development as one of our major businesses, but there also majority of the workforce is on the site constructing the villas. But we have a very sizable amount of people, which is the back office support, your accounts, your logistics management, your coordinations, your sales support. All of these activities can definitely be conducted from home. You need to do an analysis of the organization chart that you have of who are the people who can go back home and sit and work. Like Geeta said, you need to have 5G, you need to have 4G, you need to have technology, you need to have a computer at home. I will go a step ahead of that. Assuming all that is in place, Chaitali, what we need to have is the 4 Ds. The first D is discipline. It is critically important for you to imagine that you are in the office. Every employee needs to imagine that he's in the office, not in the house. So he will become productive and his attitude towards work will change. That is the first part, which is discipline. The second is distance. Make sure that during working hours, you maintain distance from your friends, because there is nobody to monitor you. So you need to have that distance. You need to keep distance from your family also, because you're seriously working, and you need to keep distance from the kitchen and the fridge as well. Otherwise, you're going to balloon up and there won't be discipline and control on the food that you intake. So the second is distance. The third is demand. You need to be monitoring your own performance. The organization should also help to monitor the performance of the person, and you need to demand more productivity from yourself, and you need to demand more productivity from your team, and it should be measurable. How it can be measurable? There are plenty of technology-based apps and tools available where you can do the measurements of those things. So you need to demand more productivity. And the fourth P is what? Chaitali, what can be the fourth D? Sorry, what can be the fourth D? The fourth D is desire. Every organization needs to have the desire to grow. Forget the environment around us. We are here to
Correct.
perform. We are entrepreneurs. We have to perform in every scenario. We need to have a desire to grow. As entrepreneurs, let me tell you something. The best social workers in this world are the entrepreneurs, because they have to provide the best product and services to the customers for the economy and the ecosystem to sustain, function, and grow. So we need to have desires in place. Nothing should deter that. The subject which is not in your control, in the external factors, should be ignored, and continue working as if this is the new normal, and be as productive as possible. That's my 4 Ds for you, Chaitali. I hope that helps. I would like to go to the next entrepreneur, a very young and a dynamic entrepreneur, Neil Sawant. He's a technocrat, studied in the US, runs a very interesting company which does a lot of innovation in home automation. I would like to ask Neil Sawant to go ahead with this question.
Yeah, hi. So we developed India's first touchless thermal scanner in the lockdown period, which detects body temperature of the person. And if the person has high temperature, it rings an alarm, and many more features like that. Because of our product, we do not need to import Chinese products today, or the alternatives which are imported. This is an innovative wall mount product, and we are making it in India. I'm wondering, how can I operate such a business working from home?
Fantastic. So, Neil, that's a very interesting question. Nagu can throw some light on that, and then we can all chip in.
Super. Neil, that's fantastic to understand that you got a product which was developed in India. And I'm sure you have such a patriotic approach today. Everybody wants to encourage the production that happens here, provided our quality and services up there. And knowing you and your organization, Neil, your product and service will be fantastic. And hence, it will have a fantastic acceptance at the market. Wish you all the best. It's an ideal product that's required today. Now, getting onto the subject of what can operate from home. Now, I don't think working from home is product specific. This is going to also have an impact on what Chaitali asked. So no work from home is going to be product specific. It's more a style of working. Does it really matter whether you work on the ground floor of an organization, or is your organization or is your office going to be on the 10th floor? Really does not have an impact on the kind of work. So therefore, it's not a product. Now let's therefore get to what's going to be very important and critical. Out of the information that Geeta shared and what Rajesh has shared, what I have felt is it's absolutely the one word discipline that hits the mind as soon as you talk about it. So we will need to face this aspect of work from home from a different perspective altogether. This is a totally new concept. Nobody's tried it. So nobody's really got a methodology of how it can be done, which means you definitely need to walk the path to see what's going to work. You'll need to walk the path on 2 aspects. Every entrepreneur will have to walk the path. Being an entrepreneur, how is the work from home going to happen? And then the same entrepreneur's got to get into the shoes of the person who's going to be working from home, and then say, if I'm going to be working from home, what all should I do, or what is going to be required, what's going to be the norm or call of the day. Once you look at it from both of these perspectives, you get a fairly decent perspective. I don't think you will get a total perspective. You get a fairly decent perspective. We will need to walk it, and we'll need to first of all start by communicating that we work on trust management. We don't work on suspect management, because by suspecting, you're going to kill even what's actually going to be a normal flaw. I needn't have consciously committed a mistake. I could have done something out of just an error, a concept, an understanding error. Now, if you're going to suspect me for it, then you've killed it. You have not only killed the thought, you have killed the concept itself. So you need to get into a little bit of an understanding mode, and you need to say, hey, I'm willing to understand. I want you to understand as well. So it's a dual aspect. It definitely calls for a dialogue, and it calls for an understanding from both the angles, and then we can come up with something really smart, which will start working for everybody.
And trust management can be done by developing systems and practices in place, which are review mechanisms. When you have a very strong review mechanism in place, the trust management happens automatically, because every person in the team is aware that his answers are going to expose his level of involvement, his level of seriousness, and his level of productivity. So, Neil, that is very much possible, and such a wonderful product should be informed to the world very, very fast. In technology, people get overtaken by the minutes. So you need to spread the information of this lovely product as fast as possible. With the help of e-commerce, it should be made available to the world at the earliest. With the help of digital media, it should be advertised and educated to the audience that this is so economical to buy, so easy to install, and it is the DIY model where the concept of the Western world. Do it yourself, plug and play. Just buy the product from you. It gets shipped logistically thanks to Chaitali Mehta, and you get it installed at the walls of the customer's door, and automatically the problem is solved, and you are creating a protective level from COVID-19 to be impacting your office or your residence. The last question for the day, we are running out of time, is another young entrepreneur with us, Sushant Rao Rane. Adroit Biomed is the name of his company. Roaring business. He's growing because he's in the medical sector. Immunity is what he's selling at the moment. The immunity pills, that is what he's selling in the moment for the vitamin C. I would like to request Sushant Rao Rane to ask the question. He's one of the budding entrepreneurs in the pharma industry.
So thank you very much for this opportunity, and we are having a wonderful discussion on work from home. My question to you all is, work from home for India is a relatively new concept. We have seen it happening in IT sector. However, for a sector like us, which is pharmaceutical and healthcare, where we need to be on ground to service our doctors and service our team. So my question is, how do we build up mindset within our team first to work from home and yet be productive? And also my question is, how can we service our customers effectively by working from home? Thank you.
So Geeta, we'll have to give short answers and conclude. We have already crossed our time limit. So let us all pass on one statement. Yes, Geeta, go for it.
Yeah, Sushant, it is all about, we have to get them into the right rituals and practices. Before the Zoom call, they just cannot wake up and get ready for a Zoom call. So it has to have with the morning practices, waking up on time, getting ready, having their exercising and rituals done, and getting ready, and as if they are going to the office, like right from your shaving to wearing to your formals and everything. That is what brings that kind of productivity in the mind. And then getting your workplace, you need to have a separate workplace, dedicated place for work, and your work ethics has to be in place. Your deliverables, everything, your matrix, your deliverable matrix for the entire team has to be monitored and given. So the deliverables has to be reviewed and monitored once, twice a day, and the systems and process has to be in place. At the end of the day, the EOD and the reporting has to be fine. And so when we have all of this in place, work from home gets very efficient.
Fantastic. Yes, Nago, your last take.
Sushant, good to know that you're in the pharma industry, and that's a booming industry. It's a sunrise and forever industry. Congratulations on that. Right. Now, my answer to everybody on this will be, in any organization, not everybody can work from home. Let's face it. So it's not, if that was the case, then nobody needs to even step out. So that's not going to happen. Like for instance, in our villa development, there needs to be a major chunk of the people at the site. In our factories, there needs to be a major chunk of the people on the shop floor. Now, I'm sure Chaitali has the same situation, and Neil has the same situation. Therefore, whomever has to go and meet the doctors, be at the labs, be at the shop floors, they are going to be there. So there's no way that they can operate from home, which means there are only going to be a few departments that can work from home. Now, you'll need to look into your organization, which are the units that can work from home, not the entire unit also, maybe a part of it, and then see how you can have your do's and don'ts from there. So let's first get this concept that everything cannot work from home. So some things are going to be the way they are, and some things are going to change. What are those things that are going to change is what you have to look at. Thank you.
Fantastic, Nago. Thank you so much. So Sushant, I would like to tell you that you need to realize, react, and respond. If you manage these three R's well, you will be very successful. What you need to realize is the needs of your team working from home. What you need to realize is the needs of your customers sitting from home. What you need to react on is, after you realize, how fast do you react? And after you react, how fast do you respond to your customers? All of these things can be tracked and mapped all the time. That will in fact give you better productivity than the team working from offices. Compulsorily, a lot of organizations are going to move a good amount of their staff to their residences so that they can become better productive from there without the stress of traffic jams and pollutions of the city. So the productivity is going to be improved in the coming days. You need to creatively map on who are going to be operating from home. It can be turn by turn, it can be alternate days, it can be some percentage of the workforce, or it can be on the basis of the roles that you have defined to your teams. So I think these are going to be very interesting practices, and the cost savings that you do will get passed on to the customers as better prices or more value for the price that they have paid. So this is all going to be a very revolution time thanks to COVID-19. We cannot thank a pandemic, but this has made us realize new ways of working, and this is going to become the new normal. So friends, thanks to Business World, we are live today. Thanks for the panel for joining us. We are live today, and we are also live thanks to Tamil FM. We are live in the entire Dubai today. So we are increasing our reach, we are increasing our activity, we are increasing the interactions, And every Sunday, we are going to be having 6 more people joining us on 2 interesting topics on every Sunday, so that we can make it more exciting for you and some more takeaways which you can implement in your life and add value to your business and personal life. Thank you so much. Signing off, this is Eknelo Rajesh.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, and it's lovely to be live in Business World and in Dubai Tamil FM today. Lovely to see உங்க எல்லாரையும் பார்த்ததுல ரொம்ப சந்தோஷம். And signing off today, Geeta Nagu.
Wonderful. I think Geeta has done a good bit of thanking everybody in Dubai. உங்கள்ட்ட எல்லாத்தையும் நாங்க வந்து ரேடியோல தான் பேசிட்டு இருக்கிறோம். இப்பதான் நேருக்கு நேர் சந்திக்கிறோம். Congratulations. Wish you all the best.
आणि नमस्कार सगळ्या लोकांनी हा कार्यक्रम पाहिला त्यांच्यासाठी मनापासून धन्यवाद.